Cobb doing that?
ESPN LA USC Trojan Media Network.
Presented by Pechanga Resort Casino.
Are you ready for football?
Here we go, Monday, November 25th, 2024. Feels good to begin Turkey Week with a win over Little Brother.
Mayava up under center, Jonah Monheim. That's a never happens. Turns around, fakes it to Woody Marks, waiting, rolls right, got to throw it. Get rid of the ball. He's running to the left side of the 10. Throws it in the back of the end zone. Caught by Jacoby Lane. Touchdown, USC! Jacoby Lane caught it just before he went out of bounds. The Trojans have the lead. How do you do?
This is Trojans Live for your Monday night. As we recap everything from the Rose Bowl on Saturday night, the Victory Bell is once again back at Heritage Hall. USC beats UCLA. We're all over it with Coach Week and Riley. And we're going to look ahead to the battle with the Irish Saturday at the Coliseum, 12:30 p.m. kickoff. Let's do it. Thanksgiving week edition of Trojans Live right now. The exclusive USC Trojans Coaches Show. Behind-the-scenes insights and breaking news from the student athletes who play for the Cardinal and Gold. Trojans Live is presented by Monster Energy. Monster Energy, unleash the beast.
Unleash the beast.
It's time for your host. Live from Los Angeles, here are Jordan Moore, Sean Cody, and Cody Kessler.
Hello and welcome to Trojans Live, presented by Monster Energy on ESPN LA 710 across the USC Trojans Media Network. I am Jordan Moore alongside the All-American Sean Cody, our quarterback Cody Kessler, and the head coach Lincoln Riley, fresh off returning the Victory Bell to its rightful place here at USC. Ready to take it to the next level, unleash the beast this college tailgate season with Monster Energy. Tear into a can of the meanest energy drink on the planet, Monster Energy. Unleash the Beast. And USC's head coach interview is presented by I Trust Capital, the official crypto platform of the USC Trojans. Thank you to the head coach, Lincoln Riley, for joining us as always. Coach, you know, the story of this season for a while was the inability to win close games. You guys have flipped it here. The last two, winning two close games. How do you feel like you've been able to make that change to finish these games off the right way?
Well, I think first the team has just hung in there. I mean, really, and I think the team deserves a lot of credit for that. That's not easy, and just emotionally to stay in it, to keep battling. I think the team's kept their confidence. I think the team has kept great perspective on all that's happened this year, the good, the bad, everything in between, and they've stayed steady and they've stayed motivated, and so they. We really looked at this last 3-game stretch. We said it's a 3-game season, and it's gonna happen quickly. It's 3 great opportunities, against 3 other very good programs, 3 important games, here for us. And so, we've done a great job getting the first 2. The guys have played well. We've done what we've needed to do to play well in these games and to put ourselves in position. And we said it a lot throughout the year. I mean, we are battle tested. Like, we don't get in one of those games and it's like, we don't panic. Like, we know what it feels like we know what it takes, and it's a matter of just going and doing it. And so, we've done it 2 games in a row now in kind of 2 different type situations. One on the road, a rivalry game, and to be able to close that out, especially with how we played defensively and how we played on special teams. I mean, because that's really what won the football game. I mean, to be completely honest, I mean, those 2 sides of the ball really, played well, gave us some huge advantages, made clutch plays, and obviously we're kind of the spearhead to the victory.
Coach, I know you didn't talk about it a bunch, maybe going into the game, but you had a team that was down a lot of guys during the week, and some sickness was a part of it, and just the time of the year, it's guys are not feeling 100%. What was it like trying to get the team going when especially everything's not feeling that great this week, and you're just trying to battle through the week to get the guys to the game?
Yeah, I think I said something after it. It really was. There was some like COVID deja vus, of going through a COVID season, and that you kind of weren't real sure day to day.
Hey, that guy's sick, get him out.
Yeah, it was like that. I mean, we were masked up in meetings. I mean, we had, you were getting about 5 different injury reports a day, not sure, exactly who you were going to have, even up to like 5 or 10 minutes before practice. And But we just said from the beginning, like, we're going to manage it. We're going to prepare the best that we can with what we have, but we're not carrying excuses into this week as far as preparation, and certainly not into this game. And so it is what it is, and we've got to deal with it. And that was just the mentality the whole week. And I give credit to our trainers and doctors. I mean, they worked overtime this week, nutritionists. I mean, the players. I mean, it was definitely a group effort to get this team ready, but they were very motivated and very determined to go play well no matter what was stacked up.
Coach, some highs and lows in this game for Jaden Mailata. I thought he did a better job protecting the football, which was important in this game when your defense is playing so well. How would you evaluate his performance, not only in this game, but over the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, he played good. He played good the other night. I thought he was steady. I thought he stayed patient, even when we didn't make some plays around him that we should make. And I thought he never really got rattled. I thought he saw things well. I thought he was a lot steadier and more consistent than he was in the first start, which is, I don't think a surprise. I mean, we felt like that there would be an element to just settling in a little bit, and we felt that. I mean, he threw some great balls down the field. He gave our guys some chances to make plays that, like I said, that we need to make. He was patient, I thought, when he needed to be patient. There was a number of really good checkdowns that were really efficient plays for us, and no, he played a good game, and he's going to keep getting better, but it was fun to see him really, feel more settled in and control than he did the first week.
You're listening to the head coach, Lincoln Riley, on Trojans Live. Coach, I really liked what I saw up front defensively in this one. I thought it was probably the best pass rush game. I guess Rutgers' game had more sacks than this one, but you also combat the tush push with those guys in a huge spot. What are you seeing from your guys up front here late in the season?
It was an impactful game. It was. The big thing is we were able to affect the quarterback.
Yep.
And that was huge, and it didn't just take us blitzing, to affect the quarterback. We were able to do it in multiple ways. We were able to do it with different types of rushes, getting it from different players, and even obviously we got him on the ground some, but even at times when we didn't get him on the ground, we were moving the quarterback off of his spots. You're making him have to move. You're making him have to scramble. And I think, some of the new guys that we're playing with in that lineup, you can feel the confidence growing in that group. They're starting to get more in sync. They're starting to play, better and better. And so, it was an important part of the game because they'd been on a pretty good string offensively. The quarterback had been playing some good ball for them. They had been scoring some points, and so that we knew it was going to be a key to the game. And to step up was awesome. And yeah, like you said, stopping the quarterback sneak was probably my favorite play of the game. Just the surge that we had in that critical of a moment. When a team's going to be aggressive like that and try to go for it, deep in their own territory, to be able to flip that was huge. And we had a number of obviously big third and fourth down stops for the game that were certainly the difference.
Coach, you're able to get in the red zone, able to get in the end zone at the end of the game, which was obviously a huge score to kind of seal that one. But the first half in the red zone, it was a struggle. At times, you had to bump into a referee on a play. You brought an extra man on extra lineman on a play on the first one, and then some back shoulder and fade throws. What was the strategy going into that one? And when you break down those red zone plays, what was ultimately the reason why you guys weren't successful?
I think missed opportunities. We had a couple things unfortunate. Like I said, the ref deal was unfortunate. We had one run play where they were aligned wrong, but because they were aligned wrong, it was actually better to the play that we were running. Pat, those things happen. That's football. Like we missed opportunities. We did some really good things in the run game on the open field, and some of the same situations down there on the goal line. Some of the missed assignments showed up. We got beat a couple of times. And then we didn't, other than the scramble pass to Lane, we really just didn't make many competitive plays down there. We gave guys opportunities. Jaden got to some really good one-on-one situations that we have a lot of confidence in. But, those are ones that we obviously have to go make. You got to get it in there one way or another, right? You've either got to run it in or you got to throw it in. We didn't run the ball very good down there, and the throw game, like I said, they put us in positions where it was going to be a one-on-one type of game down there, and you don't have to make all of them, but you got to make one out of the three, right? And so it's been something we've typically been really, really good at, but we obviously are going to have to do a better job of that going forward. And the team did a good job overcoming it, and then obviously the field goal team did a good job of coming in. And you don't like kicking them, but if you do, you got to get those points. And Mike and the guys did a nice job there.
Coach, when you play in these low-scoring games, and I've always been curious, we're both offenses are struggling a little bit to get in a rhythm. Both defenses are playing very well. How does your mindset change, if any, as a play caller when you play in these games where field goals really are very important and not putting up a lot of points?
Yeah, no, it does. It's important. And I mean, I think I felt going into this game that both offenses are capable of scoring points, but these are two good defensive football teams. I mean, and the history would show that. And so I knew there was a chance this game was going to play out like that a little bit. And so yeah, I mean, the value goes up. Does it make a difference in calling this play or calling that play? Or kicking a field goal or going for it here or how aggressive you are. Sure it does. I mean, I think those are the things that analytics can't tell you, the matchups and the flow of the game and the feel for it. And so, high scoring games are fun and all that too, but I actually prefer calling it in games like this.
Really?
I just think it's more situational. I think the importance of each play, when there's two good defenses on the field and you have to earn everything, like the importance of each play goes up, and so in each decision. So yeah, no, that was fun. Fun obviously for us to play that way, and if we get a couple more of those in there, it's not quite so close, but that's how it goes.
Yeah. Well, you go from UCLA week to Notre Dame week. That's how it's done here at USC. DirecTV is proud to be the presenting sponsor of the Jewel Shillelagh rivalry. Stream college football's fiercest rivalries on DirecTV satellite free. USC versus Notre Dame coming up at 12:30 on Saturday afternoon. CBS has the kick. USC Trojans Media Network will go on ESPN Los Angeles at 10:30 a.m. with the Trojan Tailgate Show. We will talk to Coach about beating the Irish next on Trojans Live.
The Trojan Media Network, presented by Pechanga Resort Casino.
And it is Trojans Live for this Thanksgiving week as we recap our Trojans beating those stinking Bruins Saturday night at the Rose Bowl.
Malyava wants to throw long and does. That's complete. This one's got a big gain for Makai Lemon to the Bruin 35-30. Looking for a block and gets it from Kyron Hudson, who waddles his way out of bounds in front of the 25, down to near the 20-yard line, down to the 19.
Plus, week ahead, Notre Dame week. We'll battle the Irish at the Coliseum Saturday at 12:30 p.m. We're all over it tonight on Trojans Live. Now back to the campus of USC at Heritage Hall, broadcasting in Los Angeles. Here are your hosts, Jordan Moore, Sean Cody, and Cody Kessler.
Hey, Trojan fans, celebrate every Trojan win and enjoy the sweet taste of victory with a free donut at Ralph's the day after the win. Download your digital coupon from the Ralph's app to score your free donut at any Los Angeles area Ralph's store. And when you've got good beer and good vibes, it's all buenas. Don Buenaventura Salt and Lime Lager is Baja-inspired and imported from San Diego, located near you at find.stonebrewing.com. Jordan Moore, Sean Cody, Cody Kessler, and the head coach, Lincoln Riley, still with us here. Time to get set for USC versus Notre Dame. Coach is 1-1 his career as the USC head coach in this great rivalry. What do you see from this year's Notre Dame team? Boy, that Northern Illinois game really looks like a blip now because they've pretty much handled everybody else.
Yeah, no, they've played well. They're playing good on both sides of the football. They've been able to run the football. Obviously, got a good quarterback that they brought in through the transfer portal. It's done a nice job for them. Defensively, have another very good year defensively. It's a really good crew, really steady crew. They've been able to make explosive plays. They've been able to limit people in the run game, certainly. So, I mean, they make you earn it. I think it's a pretty balanced football team from what we've been able to see so far. So it'll be a good challenge for us, and we plan on being a good challenge for them too.
Coach, we talked about defense earlier in the game against the Bruins, and we got a young man coming up later in the show, number 4 for you guys, Easton Mascarenas-Arnold, who's just been a stud since he stepped on campus, kind of take over that leader role on defense for you, and just really has been in there grinding every game, and probably I think had his best game as a Trojan last week with he should have got another sack, but only one sack there, but some big plays in the game. What has he meant for this defense and you guys as the season's coming to a wrap here?
He's done a great job. It's not easy to come in, as a one-year guy and be asked to be a leader like that. That's not easy. And so he along with a lot of our guys deserves a lot of credit for not just coming in and making plays and playing hard and putting his effort into it, but also coming in here and taking some of the reins of that. And leadership can be challenging. It can be lonely. It's and especially when you're coming in like that. So I give him a lot of credit. He played very well the other night. He was one of those guys that was pretty sick even at the end of the week, but him getting his one shot to come play in that rivalry game and get the win there, I know meant a lot to him as it did our team, our defense, and he definitely played some inspired football for us.
Coach, sticking with the defense a little bit, that's back-to-back weeks where they've been able to finish the football game. I thought they dominated the fourth quarter. Those last couple of drives, UCLA couldn't really get anything going, and I know Easton's a big part of this, but what's led to the success that this defense has had late in the football game?
Well, I think a couple of things. One, I think the front being able to be more effective and have an impact in those moments, I think has definitely been a part of it. I think getting some of these secondary guys back healthy, and being able to have our full complement of guys are pretty close to it in the secondary here the last few weeks. Has definitely made a difference. And then, we've been able to avoid big breakdowns. We've played good complementary football. We've been able to tackle people. We've been able to take advantage of the plays that have been there for us to make and haven't had big penalties. I mean, we've just played good football in those moments. And so, and like you said, the other night was big because it wasn't just the fourth down stop before. It was like, all right, you got to go out and do it again. And we did. We never really let them get started. We didn't really give them a lot of gimmies, especially in the throw game. We were in good position, and then obviously made the big plays in terms of some of the short yardage plays and the big third and fourth down stops when it counted.
Going into the season, you talked about wanting to get a little bit better in special teams, and boy, did that pay off this week. You talked about Michael Lance, and you make the field goals. Eddie is some punter. I mean, it's rare that you walk out of game after game where we're just sort of like blown away by the punter. And then you throw in Makai Lemon, who not only now is leading the Big Ten in kick return average, he's always the guy down there catching those Eddie punts and just putting them right there on the goal line as well. I mean, it is that third phase of the game, but boy, it felt like maybe the difference on Saturday.
Oh, it was huge. It was huge, and it's been important for us this year. As you said, the punt team has been one of the elite units in the country, all year. Kickoff has really done a nice job, and Michael's really been a weapon for us on kickoffs. I mean, how different has it been? The previous years we were covering just about every damn kick that there was. And, now we're not covered many, and we've done a good job with that. Mike's done a really good job really on field goals. I mean, we've had a couple obviously of protection issues that obviously have to get better. But he's hit the ball well all year, and now we're starting to get a lot out of our kickoff return team. And so now special teams have been dominant. Our kids have been excited. Our coaches there have done a tremendous job with them. It's been a big part of this team. Certainly getting on this run here at the end of the season.
Obviously, big game coming up, Coach, on Saturday. But before that, we have a holiday, and we are human beings, not just football players, Coach. So you got to take a little break sometimes. We got it coming up. I want to know your favorite protein, and then I want to know your favorite side dish on Turkey Day.
Favorite protein is definitely just like good old. I like turkey. I like it smoked too.
Oh,
yeah. That's kind of our deal.
Okay.
So I love
dark
turkey.
meat or white meat?
I'm a white
smoking
meat.
the turkey?
Yeah, white.
I'm a white meat
What's
guy.
that?
You smoke the turkey? Are you buying a turkey? What do you got?
No, well, I have family that's in town, so they'll actually smoke it, and we'll get there after practice.
That's a little bit of work.
Get it right. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Side. I mean, mashed potatoes.
Okay.
That's just you got to be. Like, how can it not be?
I was going to write down a food question, then I said, forget it. I know
Sean,
Sean
I
has
was
the
ready
food
for it.
question covered.
Well, now you, Sean. What you asked the question? What's your favorite side?
That's a good question. I'm not ready.
Were
to
you not
answer
ready
that.
for
Go
the
ahead.
follow-up? Okay. Anyways, Coach, want to go back to another play against UCLA. That double pass to Mackay and then to Kyron Hudson. That was a huge play call in this game. It led to the go-ahead touchdown. As a play caller, do you know, or when's the right moment to make that call? Right? Did you go into that game, sitting on that play for a couple of weeks now, or did you put it in that week for UCLA? And how do you know when to use it in those situations?
Yeah, no, it wasn't something we'd worked a whole lot. It's not like something we'd had in all year, but no, it's something we had confidence in. The guys did a good job, especially at the end of the week, executing it and felt confident in our ability to get it done. And yeah, you're always kind of trying to find the right time. I mean, the right time is when the guys execute it well.
Yeah.
I mean, that's at the end of the day, it's a player's game, it's an execution game, and so had confidence in the moment that it was a good time for it. But again, it was more than that. I just believed that we would do it well, and we did. We blocked it well. I mean, obviously, Lim made a great throw. Kyron was really good on the back end of it. So just it's not an easy play to execute that well. It's a lot of things got to go right, but it did.
Yeah, that was a dime too.
It was.
It was a quick release too. He had a little gunslinger
yeah,
to him.
It was very.
That was a good play.
He was so funny after the game because we interviewed him on the field and we are like, "Oh, when was the last time you threw in a game?" He said, "Oh, no, I've never done that before." But he had it during the week and he threw it when it mattered. Timing was certainly right. It sparked the win there for the Trojans, and we'll go down in the rivalry lore. So congratulations on that one, Coach. Go get that shillelagh. It sits right next to the bell. That's the way we like it here at USC. USC rivalries presented by the USC Notre Dame rivalries presented by DirecTV, the proud presenting sponsor of the jeweled shillelagh rivalry. Stream college football's fiercest rivalries on DirecTV satellite free. And the game again, 12:30 kick on Saturday. We will go on at 10:30. We were just talking him up. Easton Mascarenas-Arnold. He's next on Trojans Live.
In the heat of an intense play. We're back with Trojans Live.
It's a touchdown, USC.
And it is Trojans Live for this Thanksgiving week. As we recap our Trojans beating those stinking Bruins Saturday night at the Rose Bowl.
Both teams lined up tight at the line of scrimmage. Garbers tried to sneak it, and he's not going to make it. He did not make it. Now the whistle is blown, and the Trojans have held. And the Trojans will take over on downs at the UCLA 34-yard line with under 5 minutes to play in the big game, leading 16-13. How do you do on that defensive stop?
Plus, week ahead, Notre Dame week. We'll battle the Irish at the Coliseum Saturday at 12:30 p.m. We're all over it tonight on Trojans Live. Now back to the campus of USC at Heritage Hall, broadcasting in Los Angeles. Here are your hosts, Jordan Moore, Sean Cody, and Cody Kessler.
Fight on, Trojans, and fly on with ONT. Ontario International Airport is a proud sponsor of our USC Trojans. Visit SoCalSoEasy.com to book your journey through ONT today. And the best in the game is brought to you by Old Dominion Freight Line, official freight carrier of USC Athletics, helping the world keep promises. The best in the game is Easton Mascarenas-Arnold. He joins us now, USC's leading tackler. Jordan Moore, Sean Cody, Cody Kessler. Easton, they just played it, man. You guys found the solution to the tush push. We actually interviewed Gavin Meyer after the game, and he said, those guys up front did their job, but part of it is you got to have somebody crazy like Easton Mascarenas-Arnold to run behind you and crash into you and make sure that you don't go backwards. Take us through your perspective on a play like that.
We had seen that look all week of practice. We knew that same formation they were coming out. The coach decided to go for it on 4th and 1, and at that point it's just mano a mano. Who wants it more?
So what's your take us through your technique on that? Are you pushing? Or are you just slamming in there? What are you trying to get done on that?
I just ran straight through the center's face. I had Gav and Kobe on my right and
left.
That's
the technique. Write that one down, Jordan.
Yeah.
Battering ram.
Yeah, just go straight through his face. That's what I was thinking.
Overall, how was it getting to play in your first crosstown rivalry? Did it live up to the expectations a little bit for you that you had going into that game?
Yeah, it was dope, especially being from SoCal. My uncle actually went to UCLA, so my family's Trojans for 1 year this year. So it's cool to do it in front of my family, be back home, especially me and my brother too. Do that, put on for our city.
Did you have your uncle? Was the uncle wearing cardinal and gold for this game, or you didn't get him?
I didn't see him after. So
no, still not talking.
Better
yet?
have been.
We were talking going into last week about the one consistent part of this defense has been you and Mason inside. Mason missed the one game, but otherwise the two of you guys have been there. You've been a rock in the middle of the defense. How's that relationship been? He was a guy that came in, the previous year to you. You had to develop all these new relationships, but how's it been working as a tandem with him all season?
It's just dope. Mason's a really cool guy, really chill guy. He definitely helped the comfortability level coming in here, just being really like a brother to me now at this point, the relationship we've built. But yeah, just having him by my side, knowing I could trust him every single play. We kind of work well off each other. If one play I'm like, hey, Mace, I'm going to shoot this gap. And he's like, all right, bet. So then he just makes me right, and then vice versa. It's kind of we call each other yin and yang. We play with each other on the field and on and off. So I think it's pretty dope.
Take us through the sacks. I call it sacks because I thought that first one, man, I think you got the ball out there on that one, and then the second one in the blitz game. So was that the plan going into that with Coach Lynn? You want to be heavy in that blitz game?
Yeah, Coach Lynn uses me in a lot of different ways, which I think is really cool. One of the reasons why I thought it was cool to play in his defense was just how he uses me. A lot of inside pressures, a lot of things like that. That first QB hit, I think I was actually supposed to get blocked, but the running back stepped up and actually went out to Kamari. So luckily I was unblocked, but you never want to give up inside pressure like that. So and the second one, I had watched film all week. Number 25, he liked to lunge and pass blocking, so I knew that if I just beat him with speed, I could get there. But yeah, you got to win your one-on-ones when it's running back, linebacker every time.
We talk a lot about Coach Lynn, rightfully so. I think he's one of the best in the country. But how's it been getting to work with Coach Ince? How has he helped you develop and take that next step as a player on and off the field?
I think he's helped me more off the field, especially with just my mental, because I'm a really emotional football player, and it's been a very difficult year, especially with academics and just stepping into a different role, going to a new environment. But if I'm ever up, Coach Rand's always rides the wave. He never goes up too high and never goes too low. He always keeps me mental, keeps me where my feet are. So I think that's where he's helped me the most.
You're only here for a year, but you like to leave a legacy, you like to leave a place, better than you found it. How's the future of this USC defense? I really like the look of Desmond Stevens behind you guys playing at that linebacker spot, but in general, there's been a lot of young guys that have worked in this year. What do you think of the future of this group?
I think we're only at the bottom of where it can be. There's the ceiling for the defense and this whole team in general is so high. Like you got guys like Dez. I mean, Cam Fountain has been playing his tail off the last couple of weeks. He's been playing. So guys like that came in here, recruit them for a reason. I think they're going to be hell of players in the near future, especially next year. But yeah, if the coaching staff is doing their job like they've been doing, the players keep working, have a great offseason, I think next year is going to be even better.
You talked about your buddy there who plays next to you, Mason Cobb. You had to be giving him some grief after, he has a possible interception, and then Ethan Garbers is able, the quarterback, puts a lick on him, man, and the ball comes out. You gotta tell him something after that, right?
Yeah, for sure. That and the other one too. Not even to shout out Mason in a bad way, but he did he got tackled by a lineman on the first one too.
Oh,
he was down for a minute too after that Ethan Garbers hit. Right? Was that replayed in film a couple times?
It was today.
Okay.
He got hit pretty hard.
Kind of going back a little bit. I guess kind of a two-parter here. What went into the decision to coming here to USC when you were going through the transfer process? And obviously both you and your brother came over here. What's it been like getting to play alongside him in your college career?
We weren't in the portal for very long. I think SC just felt like the right place off rip. Coach Riley did a really good job in recruiting, just making it feel like a family, like a good home for us. And then Coach Lynn, we tried to maximize as much time as we could to get to know the playbook and get to know Coach Lynn. So instead of doing a photo shoot or getting a little extra tour or something, we tried to meet with Coach Lynn, get to see his defense, and off rip, we just liked, like I said earlier, the way that he uses his linebackers, the way Keeley would. He liked it as well, so I think it just felt like the right place. And just being able to go where Keeley goes and moving to a different school, but being together again it's dope. It's truly, I've said it multiple times, a blessing. Seems like a miracle that we're able to do this again. And, I mean, shoot, I don't want to. It's happened twice, so I don't want to say it's the end of it. But this being our last two games together, I'm definitely going to cherish these moments.
Well, you get to cherish a special one on Saturday. You ready for the Notre Dame rivalry?
Yeah, I heard this one's even crazier. So
this one is the real deal, the greatest intersectional rivalry in all of college sports. DirecTV is proud to be the presenting sponsor of the Jeweled Shillelagh rivalry. Stream college football's fiercest rivalries on DirecTV, satellite free. You get to run out the senior tunnel on Saturday. You've left your mark certainly in your 1 year here at USC. And another chance to do so on Saturday against Notre Dame. There's a new blood donation competition happening among Big Ten schools, and $1 million prize is on the line. If you bleed Cardinal and Gold, donate blood and submit for the USC Trojans at big10.org/Abbott before December 7. Well, it wasn't just football that beat UCLA on Saturday. Men's water polo did it too in UCLA's pool to win the conference title. Carson Kranz is next to tell us all about it on Trojans Live.
Are you ready to
USC Trojan Media Network. Presented by Pechanga Resort Casino.
And this is Trojans Live for Thanksgiving week. Once again, here is your host, Jordan Moore.
Don't wait until game time to plan for retirement. Open your free iTrust Capital account today and get your crypto IRA. iTrust Capital is the official cryptocurrency platform of the USC Trojans. And if you want the inside scoop on this game and all things Trojans, be sure to sign up for the 3 Torches presented by Smart & Final. It's a free newsletter that'll hit your email inbox 3 times a week with game info, player insights, and more. Go to usctrojans.com/3torches. And sign up. Jordan Moore, Sean Cody, Cody Kessler, and Carson Kranz joins us now, 5th-year senior leader of this USC men's water polo team. Carson, man, good to have you. Congratulations, MPSF champions yet again. You do it over UCLA. And to be honest, those guys kind of own you all season. You were 0-3 against them. You go into their pool in the biggest game. How'd you flip it? How'd you guys do it?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, they beat us 3 times prior to that. But the thing was, this week we really came together as one group. We really believed in each other. It showed out there. We played as one family. From the moment that buzzer, went off till the game ended, we were one. And you could tell. I mean, I think we had 11 different guys score or 9 different guys score. The offensive attack was very balanced. Our defense stepped up when we needed it to. We executed right when we needed to, and we really believed that when the moment came, we were going to execute. When it really mattered. Job's not finished yet, but yeah, it was a good win for the guys. So I'm very proud of them.
Obviously, the title a great thing. We got the NC2As coming up here. It's kind of take us through the season, how the season went. Obviously, it was tough against the Bruins a couple times, but how did the season break out? And now, obviously, you guys are peaking at the right time.
Yeah, I mean, I think we started the season very well. Very strong. I think it's been a roller coaster season for sure. I mean, we've had our ups and downs, but the thing is, we always stuck together, and we really believe that. Again, like when the moment is brightest and, the lights are all on us, the fans are loud, the crowd's loud, we really believe that we're going to execute. And so I'm just so proud of the guys, that, it feels great to beat UCLA in their own pool. Something really special. My last time playing there. So props to my guys. And, we did it without Pinta. Our coach we watched him. He was, every time we would score, we'd point up at him. He was on the parking lot. I don't know if you've been to the UCLA pool, but they have a parking structure right behind the pool deck.
That's where they send you when you get tossed?
No, we would just point up to him because we would see him. He would be up there with his son. No Pinta, no problem.
That was the motto yesterday? Hey, yeah. I love it. USC obviously being one of the best water polo schools in the entire country, you being from Southern California, what has it meant to you to get to stay close to home and represent the Trojans?
It means everything. Yeah, USC is my home. I kind of knew that prior to even coming here. I went to Loyola, which is right nearby, so LA has been my home for a while. I love the Trojan family. I love everything the school stands for. We were singing the Fight On song before we, in our pregame meeting as we, in the locker room. And I think it just shows that, the culture on this team is here to stay for generations to come. And we really embody, what it means to be a Trojan. And I'm glad that I could pass that legacy down, and for that culture to continue for years to come. So.
You're listening to Carson Kranz on Trojans Live, the MPSF champs, USC men's water polo. And so now you head into NCAAs. That's coming up at Stanford December 6th through the 8th. And the way this sport works, you might see the same teams again. Might come down to you in UCLA. You face Stanford all the time as well. I'm curious about familiarity in this sport. I mean, they must know your plays. You must know their plays at this point. How does it work strategically when you do have to face a team 3, 4, even 5 times in a season?
Yeah, man. I mean, it's tough. That's a really good question. It's very tough. Like we said, we played UCLA 3 times before this, so we know each other very well. I think, for us, we simplified the game plan. The game plan, we simplified as much as we can, not to overcomplicate anything. But we played Stanford in the semi. We faced them 3 times prior as well before this weekend. So yeah, we're very familiar with all the teams. UCLA and Stanford are on the other side of the bracket. So we have a good side of the bracket. We were watching the seeding, go down this morning. So we're in a very good position. We're not overlooking anybody, and yeah, it's tough to play those teams multiple times. I will say though, it's challenging. But a lot of respect to those programs, and it goes both ways. So
Senior year here, this thing is coming to a wrap. What's your goals for after this thing wraps up? As your senior year here at USC will come to a close.
It's been a long road. It's been a long journey, a challenging journey, one that I've been very fortunate to have been on and grateful to have embarked on with. I've met so many different guys from so many different places. USC water polo, we get guys from all over the world, and those are brothers for life. Those are friendships for life. I'll be at those guys' weddings, blah blah blah. But I mean, yeah, I've been so fortunate to play with under Pinta for these 5 years. So fortunate to have been been a student athlete at, quite frankly, the greatest university in the world. They treat students, student athletes are treated very well here. So very grateful.
Well, as you said, job's not finished. The Trojans racked up the conference title. Now they go for the big hardware. The NCAA championships coming up at Stanford December 6th through the 8th. So good luck with that. Carson Kranz, appreciate you joining us on Trojans Live. Our football roundtable is next.
Thank you, guys.
You want to sub-stack high?
This is the ESPN LA USC Trojan Media Network, presented by Pechanga Resort Casino.
And this is Trojans Live for Thanksgiving week. Once again, here is your host, Jordan Moore.
Monster Energy, the official energy drink partner of USC. Tear into a can of the meanest energy drink on the planet. Monster Energy, unleash the beast. And our Women's Spotlight brought to you by Sprouts Farmers Market, open 7 days a week. Visit your neighborhood Sprouts for good-for-you groceries and great prices on the freshest produce. Putting women's soccer, USC women's soccer, in that spotlight. They beat Wisconsin 3-1 in the Sweet 16. They advance to the NCAA quarterfinals, the Elite Eight coming up on Friday in Carson at Dignity Health. That'll be a 2 o'clock start against Wake Forest. Number 1 seed USC, number 2 seed Wake Forest. So that is a huge opportunity for USC women's soccer to advance to the Final Four. We've got our football roundtable here. No Keely Yor. She's got that flu bug that's been going around, but me, Sean, and Cody are here with you guys. And listen, man, ugly wins are better than pretty losses any day of the week. And, ultimately, it may not have been the most aesthetically pleasing game, and there were missed opportunities to separate. But I think when it comes to rivalry games, you just take that dub and be very happy.
Yeah, sometimes the game of football is ugly, and you're going to have some of those, tough games where you just can't put it together, like on the goal line for the Trojans. The first one was, just bad, bad luck. You have a guy, you run the tight end over the middle, it's wide open, and then you get the ref, and then you just have some miscues right there. If there's one thing I think I would pick apart, I'd like some, I think as a defense, Cody, you always worry about those little pick plays on the goal line. Yeah. You always worry about some of those things. If you maybe have a gripe, maybe I'd like to see one of those mixed in there. But, you have your big wide receivers. You're going to challenge them up top. You want to go up top. You hope to win, a couple of those. You don't get any wins, and that's kind of when it breaks down. You knock the field goes through, and it was ugly. But, hey, you got enough points to win the game.
Yeah, absolutely. And like Sean said, kind of talking about that red zone area, and we got to hear Lincoln talk about it a little bit. I get it, right? Not abandoning the run, but when you run the football on first down on all 3 plays and you go for a combined of -2 yards, you feel that sense of urgency of, okay, now we have to score. Let's start throwing it. Now I'm with Sean. I like the crossers on that. I like maybe using Jaden a little bit in the run game. Let Woody lead block, right? So add an extra blocker, let him run, or hook the defensive end and get him out on the edge, right? You give him a run pass option, get outside. But overall, we had no issues moving the football in the first half. We were going up and down the field. We were backed up a couple times, went 90-plus yards on some of those drives. We just got to find a way to finish. But the biggest thing for me is we won an away game, right? I know it's not quite an away game. We found a way to win, and the biggest part of that was, and there were a couple fumbles. We've got to be better there, but we didn't have any turnovers, right? We didn't have any takeaways, but we also didn't have any turnovers. And in those close games, you've got to be able to protect the football and find a way to win.
And this is why you don't necessarily want to overreact week to week. I'm fine if we talk about themes throughout the course of the season. USC's been a pretty solid red zone team this season.
100%.
So all of a sudden go, oh, they're terrible in the red zone and the red zone play calling and all that. It was a tough night. There's no doubt about it, and almost cost them the game because they didn't put it away in the first half. But they're top 40 nationally in touchdown percentage and red zone scores. They've been all right. That's not been a huge issue for the team this season.
And it looked like Sean said, if we hit that touchdown to Lake McCree, we're not talking about this, and who knows, maybe the next 2 drives, but we're up, 17 instead of just kicking a couple field goals or doing something like that going in the half. So there were plays to be made. We just weren't hitting them. We've got to go out there and execute as well.
I did want to talk to you guys about a bigger picture thing that I'm noticing sort of on the positive late in the season. Cody, I'll start with you. We haven't talked much about the offensive line since the Michigan game. The Michigan game was a disaster, although I will say I saw a mock draft the other day, and Michigan has 3 guys in the top 15 from that defense. So as bad as their season has been, those were some studs they were going against. They got exposed. USC still almost won that game, but up front, they got worked pretty hard that day. They have gotten better and better as the season's gone on, and really some of these guys have really become a strength towards the end of the season.
Yeah, and 2 of those guys on that Michigan team are defensive linemen, right?
Yeah.
2 very good players. So that was a tough challenge. That's on the road. That's in the big house. So you can't just judge one game for an entire season, right? You've got to allow this group to get better. But I think the biggest thing for me is building that continuity, building that consistency. We really didn't know who was going to be the starting 5 going into the year. Then we have Alani Noah rotate a little bit. Then we have Elijah Page come out a game and bring Tobias Raymond in. There just wasn't that, continuity yet, that comfortability level with, and Sean knows as a defensive lineman as well, when you have a center guard tackle on each side that are working well together, that communicate well, it makes it even more difficult as a defensive lineman to make a play, and we're starting to see that. But I think the biggest thing is the run game. Once we started getting the run game going, you build so much more confidence.
It's been consistent. And they have run on everybody all year. The
Penn
Penn
State,
States of the
yeah,
world, I
true.
mean, really have run, no one's been able to really shut down Woody Marks.
It's a lot easier for an offensive lineman to go downhill and take the hit to a defensive lineman than have to backpedal and block an Abdul Carter, block some of these defensive ends. So I think the biggest difference maker was getting the run game going and building that confidence.
Yeah, and some big shoes to fill, after this. Obviously, you got 3 guys coming back on that front, hopefully, and then you look at Emmanuel Pregnon and Jonah Monheim. It's going to be some big shoes to fill.
That's the hard part, is now you go from like, oh, the offensive line's a weakness to like, man, there's a couple guys that can be hard to replace.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be you can find those guys, but you get some guys there, some young guys that have now been in the battle for a little bit. They're battle tested. They've been through a whole year together, so you hope that group can kind of stay intact, and then you add a couple pieces, and you hope you can get it going next year.
Page becomes a guy, starting with that anchor at left tackle is a great place to start with offensive line, and he seems to be, an example of a guy that's getting better and better week after week. And the other side I want to talk to you about is the defensive line. Again, something that has, pretty clearly, particularly with the pass rush, been a weakness, throughout this season. But getting better, I think maybe a step behind where the offensive line is at because they're really relying on youth. But that youth starting to pop a little bit, not necessarily always in the sacks because everyone's talking about Cam Fountain. And then I looked at his stats, and he didn't necessarily get the stats this week. But there were a lot more pressures and hurries and the quarterback off his spot. And the game ended, with Garber's, throwing wildly on 4th down. So there's no sack there, no hero to point to. But it was plays like that where he was never comfortable all day.
And it's looked different all year, right? You start the year and you got guys like Anthony Lucas out there. You got Bear Alexander out there who's not there no more. So it started with Nate Clifton and Gavin in there, and now it's kind of like now you see the young guys coming in, the young who they trust now. And you got to give a lot of credit to Coach Henderson for developing these guys throughout the season and figuring out their strength and how to use them. But you see Braylon Shelba got a sack, and Nate Clifton had a sack, and guys were getting pressure. Gavin was back there again. That's like, so they just keep getting better. And the youth movement, I think with Cam Fountain, even when guys are talking about on your team, those young guys are getting better and they trust them to be out there. Took a ton of snaps. So, and you got to tip your cap to Coach Henderson in the development of a young group.
Notre Dame, toughest team we played this year?
This defense is good. I watched some film on them yesterday. I did a full breakdown. And, you talked about the Northern Illinois game as, okay, they're beatable. They are, sure, but they have been playing some great football. That is now an outlier, in my opinion, that football game. Al Golden is one of the best defensive coordinators. He has that pro-style defense to where you're going to see multiple looks up front throughout the entire game. They're going to go 4 down, 3 down. They're going to get in bear looks, go 5 down to where they get one-on-ones all across the board. They have a very sound football team on the defensive side of the ball. I'm not worried. I'm excited for the challenge, but this is up there with Penn State, with Michigan a little bit in those defenses, and they've got some very good players on that side of the football.
Yeah, I was thinking of that there might be they haven't really played anybody Case, and then I looked at their schedule, and they won at A&M to start the season. They have a win over Louisville.
Only 2 road games though this year, Jordan.
Yeah,
they have neutral site and all home games. They only have 2 road games so far this year. The last one was Purdue in week 3, so it'll be interesting.
I don't think they're unbeatable though.
Bring them to the Coliseum.
Yeah.
Let's go. Come on in, Notre Dame. Welcome to the Coliseum.
Is very mobile.
Yeah,
he loves to run. 13 rushing touchdowns.
Second
leading
rusher on the team
year, so certainly something to watch. All right, we got one more segment to come. Trojans Live.
It's time to recharge.
the ESPN LA USC Trojan Media Network, presented by Pechanga Resort Casino.
And this is Trojans Live for Thanksgiving week. Once again, here is your host, Jordan Moore.
One final segment of Trojans Live on a Monday of Thanksgiving week. Happy incoming Thanksgiving, everybody. Work week here at USC. USC Notre Dame coming up on Saturday at 12:30 kick. We'll go on at 10:30. A couple of basketball games coming up. Women's basketball plays on Wednesday and Friday right here in the USC Trojans Media Network. Men's basketball plays on Thursday and Friday. So we'll both be in Palm Desert for all of those games. So lots happening around USC. And as I mentioned, women's soccer at 2 o'clock on Friday and their big NCAA quarterfinals. So a busy time of year for sure. The over-under is presented by Pechanga Resort Casino, proud partner of USC Athletics. I didn't do an over-under this week, guys. I did a little trivia for you. Are you ready?
Ready.
Who leads USC in receptions?
Woody Marks. Oh.
Sean?
Going into UCLA, it was Woody Marks. I'm sticking with Woody Marks.
Makai Lemon?
Woody Marks.
Okay.
Yeah.
1 point for Cody.
Let's go.
Who leads USC in touchdown catches?
It's a tie between Jacoby Lane and Deuce Robinson.
It is not.
No.
Sean?
No, Jacoby Lane, because he had one. It's Jacoby Lane.
I'll say Jacoby Lane.
Yeah.
Sorry. You're that guy. This is why I can't do trivia on social media anymore, because one person answers it right in the comments, and then everyone's like, oh, yeah, exactly. I knew that wasn't the whole time.
It was tied 5-5 going into the game, but now Jacoby takes the lead.
Who leads USC in tackles for loss? Sean? Quick answers, please. Dead air.
What do we got? Easton Mascarenas-Arnold.
Cody?
I don't know this one, actually. I think Easton's probably the obvious answer, or is it still Eric? It better not be Eric Gentry still, is it?
Still Eric Gentry.
Is it still Eric Gentry?
Who leads USC in sacks?
That's got to be, I think that's Easton Mascarenas-Arnold.
Sean?
Gavin Meyer.
Easton Mascarenas-Arnold. Just keep cheating off Cody's papers,
This
Sean.
is way better.
Yeah, those are my 4 trivia questions. I thought all of them sort of showed.
You know what I miss? Over-under.
Why? You don't know the answers to those ones
Jordan,
either.
I watch way too much film and do way too much prep. That was.
But I honestly found all 4 of those fascinating because I think they sort of show a little bit where the team's at, that, looking for some stars to emerge going forward in some of those areas. You want a guy up there with like 10 sacks.
Big plays, big plays on defense.
A number 1 receiver. We've had a number 1 running back this year, that's for sure, in Woody Marks. He's 3rd in the Big Ten in rushing. He's averaging exactly 100 yards per game, 1,100 yards rushing in 11 games. Pretty impressive. But sort of the next step is to have some guys emerge at these other spots and have
that exactly who is leading in those
guys.
Yeah. This is guys leading in sacks. This guy's leading in receiving. And to answer a question from Cody earlier,
I was literally
gravy is the answer for
gravy. Is your favorite?
You never eat gravy the rest of the year. You eat gravy on one day of the year.
That's your
it's gotta have its
side?
day.
We have to go. That's how I feel about stuffing. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone involved in Trojans Live. Appreciate y'all listening. Fight on.
This has been Trojans Live, presented by Monster Energy. Unleash the beast.